Okay, welcome to our ID 112 beginning drafting demo for our walls and doors exercise. You can see that I am starting off with a sheet where I have already light lined in my exercise title block, and I've gone ahead and put in 1/4 inch lettering of our walls and doors title. Now, as we follow along the directions for this exercise, what we're going to do is we're going to draw in a solid wall and a pony wall. And for these, we will tell how long our wall is. Then we're going to go ahead and put in a series of doors. For the series of doors, we're just going to say what size the doors are and not worry about the size of the walls. Now, one of the keys to this exercise is that we are doing 5-inch interior walls and 6-inch exterior walls. And we'll talk about that more when we get to the doors. So we're going to start off with a 4H pencil because we always begin drafting in a 4H pencil. And I'm going to begin with the top lines for my walls. The method that I think works the easiest and most efficiently for this is to light line in the first wall against your T-square. And I'm going to do both of them at the same time so they line up nice and pretty. And then I'm going to measure down 5 inches to make these both interior walls. Now, this is our first exercise with drafting to scale using our architect scale. So we are drafting at 1/4 inch equals 1 foot scale. So we're going to use this 1/4 edge of our scale. And to measure a 5-inch wall, I am going to use that inches side right there because this is 12 inches at 1/4 inch equals 1 foot. So to get my thickness, I'm going to use my straight edge to help me. And I'm going to go from 0 to 5 inches and make a mark at 5 inches. That mark is where my lower wall will go. And since I'm doing 5-inch thick walls on both sides, I can do that other 5-inch wall right there. Now I have to say how long these walls are going to be, so I'm going to go ahead and measure them. I'm going to decide that I want them both to be 6-foot walls. So I am going to put my dot at 0 and then make a dot at 6. These larger lines correspond to feet at 1/4 inch equals 1 foot scale. So 0, 2, 4, 6. And I'm going to go ahead and mark that same 6 feet on my pony wall as well. Now I'm going to go back with my HB pencil and now darken my walls to be 6 feet. Now right now, those both look like the same type of wall. So what makes one a solid wall and one a pony wall? The answer to that is poche. So to turn one from a solid wall into a pony wall, I will shade it in. And this can be done with a colored pencil and will be done on our vellums with a colored pencil on the reverse side of the paper. However, because of the thickness of bond paper, we're just going to show it by shading this in with pencil on the top side. And if you want to practice with your colored pencils, you're welcome to get colorful on this, but pencil is fine. Once I've shaded that in, I have then indicated that this is a wall that's cut through, and this is a wall that we're looking down at the top of, and that is what makes it a pony wall. And then before I forget, I'm going to go ahead and label these. So I'll go back to my 4H pencil, make some guidelines, and call this a 6'0" because we always label in feet and inches. Wall. And this is going to be a 6'0" pony wall. Next, I'm going to set up for my doors. And once again, I'm going to need interior walls. And how do I know that these are interior doors? The reason why is because I don't have a threshold. I don't show a line going across. So I'm going to go ahead and set up my 5-foot walls again with my 4H pencil. But once again, it does not matter now that I'm doing the doors how long my walls are. I'm just going to put in a wall. And I'm going to make sure I'm staying on that 1/4 inch. To measure back from 0. My 5-inch wall. Now I get to decide what size door I'm going to do. This is where, if you've gotten your design template, you have a range of doors that you can choose. As you can see from the example, when you draft in a door, this upper jamb gets lined up with this line on your template. And then we can just go ahead and draw this in dark so that we only have to do it once. And that is going to be a 2-foot 6-inch door. And then to get my thickness of my door, I'm just going to take my template and slide it over ever so slightly and make another line. And there's my door. Now a door has a jamb, so it comes where there's a break in the wall that connects with that door. So I'm going to put my pencil on the edge of the door, slide my triangle to meet it, and go down. And my swing is going to end at the edge of the jamb because it's very important that my door jamb and meaning my door opening and my actual door itself are the same size. And I made an errant mark, so I'm just going to clean that up. And then I can take my dark pencil and darken my wall coming back, and darken my wall coming back. And fill in the bottom of my door. And now I have a door. Now, if you don't happen to have one of these to make your door swings, I do have a PDF that you can print up that shows you some doors and what you can do. And I'll do a second example, is have your wall. Five inches thick, and then slide your template underneath your sheet, and it's a little tough to see, but you can find it and line it up. You're going to have to either freehand or get something circular to help you to draw in your door swing. And then use your straight edge to help you create the thickness of your door. And that's the second way to do it if you don't have a template. And you'll see that I still have a 2 foot 6 inch opening in both spots. And you can see that because you can see I have 2 feet and 6 inches, 2 feet and 6 inches. And then you'll just use your straight edge to draw out the wall. And I'm both shaded in. And I'm not going to keep shading in on our demos because I think I've demoed that and you can figure it out. I'm going to go on to the next door. So our next door is a pocket door. Same thing, it's always important to remember the size of the door and the size of the opening have to be the same. And then for a pocket door, the size of the pocket has to be the same as well. So if I want to do a 2 foot 6 inch pocket door, I need to mark off 2 feet 6 inches for the opening, and then another 2 feet 6 inches for the pocket. And then I will mark that and mark that. And I'm just gonna light line in my little jam for right now, because I also have to actually make the door. So in that case, I'm gonna show it slightly ajar. So I'm gonna mark out my two foot 6 inch pony wall open 6 inches. So I'm gonna go 6 inches and 2 feet. And then I am just gonna draw in a door. Now, as far as the thickness of your doors, it can be 1.5 to 1.75 inches depending on the type of door. That is a very difficult thing to measure precisely at 1/4 inch equals a foot scale. So we just slide our rule and estimate it. It does not have to be perfect. But you can see how now where I'm going, I'm going to go over. Make sure my HB is staying in the dark. Darken in my door and darken in my jamb. And then darken in my wall. And then when I go back and shade, I'm going to make sure that I remember not to shade in that pocket. And then don't forget to go back and label these. And when we're labeling them, we're going to label them in 1/8 inch letters with guideline by the size and type of the door. So this is going to be a 2'6" swinging door and a 2'6" pocket. Door. The next set of doors are sliding doors. And this time we're not going to be able to do all of our walls at the same time because one is interior and one is exterior. I'm going to go ahead and pull out my template because I don't need it anymore. Make sure I'm nice and secure. I'm going to go ahead and draw in that top wall again. Nice and neat. And then I'm going to go down 5 inches on my interior, and I'm going to go down 6 inches on my exterior. And then your sliding door is measured by the width of the opening. So I am going to do a 5-foot sliding door. So it's going to be 5 feet. And 5 is that line in between 4 and 6. And I'm going to mark the midway point because that's going to be important for doing my sliding door. So this is the easiest way to do a sliding door, I think, is to go ahead and mark your start and end. And then do a line through the middle. And then do a little line through that midpoint. And then go back one way on one side and back the other way on the other side. And then you have doors that can bypass each other. And then we'll go ahead and darken in our walls. And we're going to darken in our jambs. And that's what will be referred to as a 5-foot. Five-foot sliding door, because I've got 5 feet from opening to opening. Even though it has 2 doors, we refer to it as the opening. For my exterior slider, I'm going to do a 6-foot one here. So I'm going to go ahead and take my scale, put a couple dots at 6 feet. And again, mark that midpoint at 3 feet. And then I'm going to go back put in that center line, and I'm just working right in HB rather than darkening this over. You can do it either way. If you're not sure about your lines, start with it and build it otherwise. And then I'm going to put in my vertical and then take it back to make the thickness of my door. And then because it is exterior, I'm going to darken in my threshold. Now my threshold's farther away from my eye, so I'm just going to darken my threshold in with a 2H, but I'm going to use the HB for my walls. And you can see how it doesn't, because I've done light lines, it doesn't matter that I have those light guidelines going through my doors. Once I darken these, those guidelines disappear. So this will become a (6-foot 0-inch) sliding door. And I'm going to mark this one as being interior. And this one is being and you're going to add the word sliding door. I just think you don't need to watch me letter anymore. And then down here, we have a cased opening and a barn door. So once again, these are both interior. We don't have any thresholds. So we're going to go ahead and light line in the top. Measure 5 inches thickness and light line in the bottom. For the cased opening, we're going to decide how big we want our opening to be. And let's say we want a 3-foot opening. Now always remember to go back to that 1/4. Your scale will get flipped around, so you want to always double check that you're looking at that quarter before you do it. So if we're having a 3-foot cased opening, it's going to go there and there. we'll go ahead and put in that opening with our HB. Now, right now, this just looks like a break between two walls. What makes it a cased opening is that we have these dashed lines showing us that there is wall running across the top of this that's above our 4-foot cut line, but lower than our ceiling. So because that's a hidden line, we're going to use our 2H pencil to draw in those lines going across. And then this is a new trick for us. The way to make a really nice even dash line is to take that eraser shield, lay it over the line that you want to erase, and we can see our little edges of our jams there. And then I'm just gonna erase out those circles, and that gives me a nice even dash line. And I'll do the same thing down here. And having those little T's visible makes me sure that I'm erasing what I want to erase and not erasing what I don't want to erase. And now I have a nice even dash line for my case opening. I'm not wild about how that line came out. So I'm just going to darken that one a little bit better. And when I shade that. And don't forget that you're still going to go back and shade in all your walls. And that's going to be my 3-foot cased opening. And then for my barn door, I'm going to do that same thing where I make an opening. And I'll decide I want it to be, say I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to do a really dramatic barn door, and I'm going to make it, say, 3 feet. So let's say I'm going to make it 3'6". 6 inches and 3 feet. That's going to be my opening, and then my barn door is going to be a 3'6" line because it's the same size as the opening, and I'm just going to have it live a little bit below 6 inches, 3 feet. And there's my barn door. And when you're finished, you're going to have lettering labeling the type of door in addition to your size. And then you're going to fill in, once I'm done with this, darkening your title block to create your full sheet. So don't forget to go over that title block in HB before you turn your sheet in and fill in all your lettering. And that's our demo on the walls and doors.